Hello everyone, today's video is on the last words of inmates executed in the year 2022. All of the inmates that year were executed by method of lethal injection.
The things we see, the things we do that, make us become the people we are. When I went to the hotel and committed the crime, I had no idea who was going to be there. I had no idea who was going to be there. Okay, now that said, one of the females knew me because Cheryl Tubbs worked at the hotel. I've been at the hotel on numerous occasions. I've been to banquets. I've been to banquets, Christmas parties, and everything. So they knew me.
Okay.
When I come, I'm sorry.
So they could point you out.
Yes. They knew who I was. They knew who I was.
You remind you had to kill them.
Yes. In my mind, but not in my rightful mind. In my wrongful mind. In my wrongful mind, meaning, when I let that person talk to me, when I let that entity talk to me, which is the devil.
Donald Anthony Grant was born on December 17, 1975. He was 25 years old when he killed 2 hotel workers in the process of a robbery. He was sentenced to death in the state of Oklahoma, and he was executed on January 27th at the age of 46. For his last words, he was able to talk for about 2 minutes straight before the drugs took effect and his words started to trail off. He was quoted saying things like, "Yo God, I got this. No medication. I didn't take nothing. Brooklyn for life."
So, statement from the family. After 26 years, justice has finally been served. Our family can now have some closure, the Johnson family. That was a statement from the victim's family. Tonight, January 27th, 2022, the state of Alabama carried out the court's order of execution of Matthew Reeves. Time of death was 9:24 p.m. That's it.
Matthew Reeves was born on December 13, 1977. He was 18 when he killed a man by the name of Willie Johnson back in 1996. He was sentenced to death in the state of Alabama, and he was executed the same day as Donald Anthony Grant on January 27th. He was 44 at the time of his death. Matthew requested no final meal, no spiritual advisor, and made no final words.
I did seeing my dad the way I did, more and more drugs to numb the pain. I was heartbroken at the thought of losing my dad, and I knew who was responsible for it. I was high for days leading up to this horrible day. There's not a lot that I remember about that day either. I was told that I had been up for almost a week doing meth. Bits and pieces are what I remember.
Gilbert Ray Postel was born on June 22, 1986, and he was sentenced to death in the state of Oklahoma for killing 4 people when he was just 18 years old. He was executed on February 17th at the age of 35. When asked if he had any last words, he just shook his head no.
Every day for the last 32 years, I have regretted what happened.
Carl Wayne Bunchen was born on March 30th, 1944. I have done a story on him as well. He was 46 when he killed police officer James Irby. Carl's father was also a murderer. Carl was executed in the state of Texas on April 21st. He was 78 years old. For his last words, he said, "I pray to God that they get the closure for me killing their father and Mrs. Irby's husband. I hope to see you in heaven someday, and when you show up, I will give you a big hug. To all of my friends that stuck with me through all these years, I am not going to say goodbye, just saying so long. I am ready to go."
The Department of Corrections carried out the sentence recommended by the jury and ordered by the court. Our thoughts remain with the victims' family members and hope that they can find closure.
These were the tears shed in 1996 after investigators said Deck knocked on the door of Zelma and James Long, asked for directions. They invited him inside. He pulled a gun and demanded money.
Carmen Deck was born on August 9, 1965. He was 30 when he was charged for a double murder for robbing and killing James and Zelma Long. He was sentenced to death in the state of Missouri, and he was executed on May 3rd at the age of 56. 5 hours after his final meal of ribeye steak and shrimp, for his final written statement, he wrote, "My hope is that one day the world will find peace and that we will all learn to be kind and loving to one another. We all are a part of this journey through life, connected in every way. Please give love, show love, be love."
Today, by the order of the Supreme Court, the state of Arizona carried out the death sentence of Clarence W. Dixon.
Clarence Wayne Dixon was born on August 26, 1955. He was 22 when he killed 21-year-old Deanna Lynn Bowden in Arizona. Initially, Clarence got away with Deanna's murder, and he continued on committing more crimes. He was sentenced to life in prison in 1986 for sexually assaulting someone, but DNA evidence linked him to the murder of Deanna while he was in prison, and he had another trial, and for that trial, they sentenced him to death on January 24, 2008. Clarence was executed on May 11th at the age of 66. For his final words, he said, "Maybe I will see you on the other side, Deanna. I don't know you, and I don't remember you."
This crime occurred in 1984. The man who sits in that cage right now.
To the family of Vicki Lynn Hoskinson, I can only say that while I know you will never believe that I did not take her from you, I did not. That, however, does not change the fact that your pain is as real as anything possible in this lifetime can possibly be. And my profound prayer is that my death will give you and yours some form of relief and closure from your unending misery and torment.
Frank Jarvis Atwood was born on January 29, 1956. He was 28 years old when he killed Vicki Lynn Hoskinson in the state of Arizona. He was executed on June 8th at the age of 66. For his final words, he said, "Thank you, precious Father, for coming today and shepherding me into faith. I want to thank my beautiful wife who has loved me with everything she has."
Joe James was executed just before 9:30. He was convicted in the 1994 murder of Faith Hall. The victim's family had asked the state to commute his sentence to life in prison. The Supreme Court, the U.S. Supreme Court, and Governor Ivey declined to change his sentence. Governor Ivey released this statement following the execution, saying in part, "I also take deeply seriously the feelings and position of the victim's family and loved ones. However, we must always fulfill our responsibility to the law, to public safety, and to justice."
Joe Nathan James Jr. was born on July 25, 1972. He was 22 when he killed his 26-year-old ex-girlfriend, Faith Hall. He was executed in the state of Alabama on July 28th, just a few days after his birthday at the age of 50. When asked if he had any last words, he never uttered a word and remained motionless, unlike many other inmates who reply by saying no when asked if they have any last words.
Police arrested 25-year-old Kusol Chantakumane.
Do you know why you're being held?
Kusol Chantakuman was born on October 1st, 1980. He was 25 years old when he killed real estate agent Sarah Walker. He was executed in the state of Texas on August 17th at the age of 41. For his last words, he said, "Thank you, Jesus. Thank you, ministers with the Texas prison system, and all of these people in my life that aided me in this journey." After giving thanks to these people, he was strapped into the gurney and finished speaking a bit more. "To Mrs. Walker's family, I pray that my death will bring them peace." He then looked to his mother, who was there to witness the execution, and mouthed, "Mom, I love you." His mother waved and replied, "I love you. I did do a story on him if you are interested."
The person that he welcomed into his home was not me. It was a shell of me. It was a drug addict that didn't deserve his friendship. And I still today would do whatever I have to do to make it right to his family. I said it at my sentencing. If this ends today, okay. I can't say it's wrong. All I can say is I have did everything I could to show him that he didn't die in vain. I have tried to be the best person I could be since the day that happened.
James Allen Coddington was born on March 22, 1972. He was 24 when he killed Albert Hale while supposedly high on crack cocaine. He was executed on August 25th in the state of Oklahoma at the age of 50. For his last words, he said, "To all my family and friends, lawyers, everyone who's been around me and loved me, thank you."
Ramirez, high on marijuana, cocaine, and Xanax,
recalled trying to separate his two accomplices when they began struggling with Castro outside of the Times Market.
He would wind up fleeing to Brownsville, where he crossed the border and made Matamoros, Mexico, his home for the next 3.5 years.
Nice.
When you get sentenced to death in Texas, you're pretty much set that you're going to die. It's rare that you're going to get off death row.
John Henry Ramirez was born on June 29, 1984. He was 20 when he killed a convenience store worker by the name of Pablo Castro. Pablo was a grandfather of 14, and when John robbed and killed him, he was only able to steal $1.25. John was executed on October 5th at the age of 38 in the state of Texas. For his last words, he said, "I just want to say to the family of Pablo Castro, I appreciate everything that y'all did to try and communicate with me through the Victims Advocacy Program. I tried to reply back, but there is nothing that I could have said or done that would have helped you. I have regret and remorse. This is such a heinous act. I hope this finds you comfort. If this helps you, then I'm glad. I hope in some shape or form this helps you find closure. To my wife, my friends, my son, Grasshopper, Dana, and the homies, I love y'all. Just know that I fought a good fight and I'm ready to go. I am ready, Warden."
Carried out the court-ordered sentence of Benjamin Cole, who was convicted of murder in the first degree. Inmate Cole declined the ceremonial last meal and was instead served the same dinner as other OSP inmates at 7:30 p.m. on October 19th. He also declined to exercise his option to have a spiritual advisor with him in the chamber today. The execution process began at 10:06 a.m. and was pronounced deceased at 10:22 a.m.
Benjamin Robert Cole Sr. was born on April 8, 1965. He was 37 when he killed his daughter, Brianna Cole. Benjamin was executed on October 20th at the age of 57 in the state of Oklahoma. For his last words, he said a 2-minute prayer asking for Jesus to receive his spirit. He ended with talking about appeals, and then he said, "Choose Jesus while you still can and keep your eyes peeled. Be ready at all times."
No, it's no big deal. I mean, I've got an advantage over most people in the world. I mean, you don't know when you're going to die. I know when I'm going to die. You know, and I've known that I was going to die since I've been here.
Tracy Lane Beatty was born on January 23, 1961. He was 42 when he killed his mother and buried her in her own backyard. He was executed on November 9th in the state of Texas at the age of 61. For his last words, he said, "See you on the other side."
Those burly guys were Murray Hooper and William Bracey, two known enforcers with the Chicago mob who had been sent to kill Patrick Redmond after he refused their demand to use his printing business to launder money.
Murray Hooper was born on November 22, 1945. He was 35 when he killed Patrick Redmond and his mother-in-law, Helen Phelps, when they were preparing for a New Year's party. After 41 years on death row, he was executed on November 16th, 6 days before his birthday in the state of Arizona. He was 76 years old. His last words were, "It's all been said, let it be done. Don't be sad for me. Don't cry, I'll see you later. Let's go."
After years of back and forth, the state of Texas has just executed death row inmate Stephen Barbee. His first 2 dates of execution were scheduled in 2019 and 2021, but both were stopped by legal technicalities.
Stephen Dale Barbee was born on March 30th, 1967. He was 37 when he killed his pregnant ex and her son. He was 55 when he was executed in the state of Texas on November 16th, the same day Murray Hooper was executed. For his last words, he said, "I'm ready to go home. I'm ready, Warden. Send me home. I just want everyone to have peace in their heart. Make eternity with Jesus. Give him the glory in everything you do."
I'll read a statement to you and then I'll take some questions. This morning, the Oklahoma Department of Corrections carried out the court-ordered sentence of Richard Fairchild, who was convicted of murder in the first degree. Inmate Fairchild was served a ceremonial last meal at 4:47 p.m. on Wednesday, November 16th, and elected to have a spiritual advisor present with him in the chamber. The execution process began at 10:10 a.m. and was pronounced deceased at 10:24 a.m.
Richard Stephen Fairchild was born on November 17th. He was 33 when he killed his then-girlfriend's son. He was executed in Oklahoma at the age of 63 on his birthday, November 17th. He died at 10:24 a.m., so he was 63 for almost 11 hours. For his last words, he yelled out, "Justice for Adam Day."
Kevin Johnson was 19 when he killed the Kirkwood police officer in the Meacham Park neighborhood.
Your past doesn't define you. You can do something horrific in your past, but you could be a better person today.
Kevin Johnson Jr. was born on September 23, 1985. He was 19 when he killed police officer William McEntee. Kevin's execution made headlines because his 19-year-old daughter wanted to witness his execution, but she was not able to due to her age. She argued that her father was 19 when he committed a crime and was charged as an adult, so she should be able to see her father's death. Kevin was executed on November 29th in the state of Missouri. Before his execution, Kevin was able to read from a Bible, prayed, and then apologized to the victim's family and his family. He ended with saying that he was looking forward to seeing his baby brother and he was ready to go.
Any questions from any of the press that didn't witness? Yes, sir.
That didn't witness?
Any of the press that didn't get there, what were not witness?
Well, I didn't witness it, so if you can tell me what happened.
Okay, cool. All right. At 6:12, they pronounced him deceased, and it was a normal process as far as you can call it normal.
Thomas Edwin Lawton Jr. was born on August 16, 1964. He was 35 when he killed a young female, landing him on death row. He was the last person executed in 2022 on December 14th in the state of Mississippi. He was 58 years old. For his last words, he said, "I'd like to express to the Gray family and anyone else I hurt how deeply remorseful I am for everything I did. I know these mere words mean nothing and cannot erase the damage I did. For the last 20 years, I've tried to do a good deed every single day to make up for the life I took from this world.